this looks a lot different than it did when we pulled it out of the box, Rob.
Yeah, a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually, I was thinking as we go down through like the finish is really whatever you chose to finish it out as.
Correct.
So if somebody didn't like that blue you used, then they'd say the finish was bad. Well, it comes down to the skill of the covering as well, and you did quite a nice job.
You can't.
You can't really see it on film, but he put silver accents on the wingtips and out on the leading edge, and it's white on the edge. It's pretty cool. Yeah. He even replicated the little dog paw too.
You wanted it, I gave it to you.
This guy's hardcore, man. When it comes to, and I said, you gonna make the little dog paw, Rob? Yeah.
Hey, you ask, you get.
100%. Perfect replica of the picture.
Well, other than the colors.
Well, we had a chance to fly the Lil Pup. And we'll go ahead and jump into the 5x5 review. Rob, you were the master builder / reviewer on this particular project. So we're going to jump right into model characteristics. Build as advertised. You gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, this was a very nicely done kit. The laser cutting was superior on it, really was. We even commented on that when we saw it. Mm-hmm. Of course, laser cutting is nice to begin with. I mean, it makes a kit go a lot faster, but the particular job done on this laser cutting I noticed it was just clean. It was not overburnt. It wasn't overcooked. You know, your balsa, there were so many different
snapped out very easy.
Yeah, definitely. And you had plywood, you had thick balsa, you had soft balsa, you had rigid balsa in this kit, and every bit of it was perfectly cut. It was I was really, really surprised with it. No flaws at all in laser cutting. As far as the build itself, this thing went together. Honestly, I don't think I cut a single piece of balsa on this entire plane.
As a first-time kit builder, would this be a good
without
kit?
a doubt, without a doubt. This would be the perfect introduction to what is involved with building a kit. It really would be. Yeah. It gives you the basic airframe. It is a box fuse, so it's a little simpler to put together.
Yep.
But the building pins come with it, the jig pins and the blocks. It makes assembly a snap. From start to finish, I built this with covering in just a little under 8 hours.
Wow.
Now I've got some experience doing this stuff, but with that said, I think easily somebody never doing this before could get through it with a weekend. In a weekend, no problem. Yeah.
Good deal. Well, and it goes to the next thing too, which was part of the build process. Yeah. Finish 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah. Now the only thing I'm going to say as far as, and this goes along with finish, anytime you do a build-up balsa of any kind, your covering is only going to look as good as your final sanding job.
Right.
And a lot of people don't think about that really. When you've got a kit that's nice and smooth, you think, well, that balsa is fine. It looks nice. The joints are good. It is, but as soon as that film hits it, it's going to show it up like a magnifying glass. Yeah. It's very important that you sand before you cover. Mm-hmm. I went to 600 grit. Believe it or not, on some areas. Not the whole plane, but some areas, for the most part, it was pretty much all done with up to 320. Mm-hmm. But this sand's so easy, you're talking about a matter of a half hour of actual sanding. Now, your leading edges do have to be formed, so there is some involvement in that. Right. If you're a beginner, if you can seek out advice from somebody who has built kits, forming the leading edge on any plane can be a little tricky because it's important you get it consistent.
Right.
So you do have to sand that in. But this kit went together so good. The ready to cover finish on it required very little sanding.
That's great.
Really good.
The next thing is power. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Now with the power we used, we had a couple different options when we originally set the kit down on the bench. Yeah. And we actually went with the E-Flite Park 400. It's the 920 kV Park 400 Outrunner. And it was with a 10-4-7 prop, yep.
APC slow fly. Easy for you to say.
Yeah, it was a slow fly prop though, not the thin electric.
Yeah.
So it was the E-Flite Park 400 920 kV Outrunner with the APC 10-4-7 prop.
The battery was 1320 milliamp.
1320 milliamp, yeah. It was a Thunder Power 1320 milliamp we used. 3-cell, 11.1 volt.
And remember, we were just using things that we had. We didn't want to have to actually get any equipment. We wanted to see if we could just...
You could do unlimited vertical climb outs with this, couldn't you?
It was amazing, yeah.
But it wasn't too fast for the wing incident or anything.
No, not at all. And with the 3-channel, it gets a little squirrely on a straight up vertical climb.
Yeah, you're walking the tail back.
You're kind of walking it back and forth. But we were a little concerned. The one thing they don't give you in this kit is any kind of weight. We had no idea what the weight was without it being built up. So we didn't know if 400 would be enough. Everything was kind of just based on calculations. It should do this, it should do that. Yep. As soon as you hand launch that, it just climbs out with so much authority, and it never once exceeds its airframe capabilities.
Yeah,
the power
it's a perfect match.
It very,
400
very much
size, 400 Park was a nice fit.
Yeah,
and I flew it for a little bit, and it was a blast.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
The next thing's ground handling, 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, this thing belly landed without a problem.
It's a beautiful glider.
It glides. Yeah, it's one of those power off. You just bring it in, let it glide itself into a nice touchdown.
Perfect. Durability, give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, it's built-up balsa. Obviously, you know, these things tend to go to sticks if you hit hard. But I cartwheeled it through the grass today, my own ignorance. You know, we had a bit of a stiff breeze, pockety air, kind of here 1 second, gone the next, and I hand launched it into a crosswind, thinking I could do it at about half to 2/3 throttle, and it just didn't have enough authority to overcome the crosswind, and I cartwheeled it across the ground. With the fact that the wing is rubber banded onto the fuse, that made all the difference. It shifted the wing a little bit, no damage to covering or anything.
That's good.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the whole other category of pilot experience, which I think is, with this being a beginner plane and stuff, that's a really critical aspect of this review. Flight is advertised, give it a 5 out of 5.
Definitely. This is without a doubt a beginner plane.
It's kind of a textbook 3-channel flyer, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And it's light and powerful.
With the amount of dihedral it has on it, it's so stable. It's so responsive, the tail surfaces are, that it's, without a doubt, you could easily put somebody's in this with, you know, never having any flight experience, and I think they'd have an enjoyable experience.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I think we're going to need to do, too, is we'll include our throw distances.
Yeah.
There are no specs in the kit at all as far as throw, and we had to play around with it a little bit, put in some dual rates, and we finally found the throws that we felt worked well. Yeah. And I don't know if we dialed in expos.
Yeah, actually we did expos. We didn't.
So we've got expos, and I do have a percentage of the high rates set to a lower percentage. So we'll give you all those specs though on our Spectrum Radio, what it came out to be, which will help you if you're putting the kit together. The next thing is flight time.
Yeah.
Again, with our power plant that we put together with a 1320 milliamp 11.1, give it a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, we had plenty of flight time. You could easily get 10+ minutes out of this thing with throttle management, and you're going to be doing a lot of gliding with this.
It's really like the perfect beginner balsa build-up plane.
It is.
You know, when you really think about it from a overall cost and investment, and now if you're in the building, if you're not building, then you're going to go for an RF or something like that.
But you know, I've said this on a website before too. I think anybody who really wants to dedicate themselves to this hobby, you're better off for the experience if you try something like this. I think just to get an understanding of what works, what doesn't work, how things go together.
I would agree.
And it's a perfect kit for a father and son to sit down on a weekend, or a couple of buddies, one getting into the hobby, sit down and throw this together. It's an enjoyable experience.
Yep, I'd agree.
Yep.
Next thing is field size. We give it small park.
Yeah, it doesn't require a ton of room. It is a little bit bigger plane. I mean, the wingspan isn't tiny, but you know, it doesn't require a lot of room to turn, and that's the main thing. And its slow flight characteristics will keep you from getting in trouble, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I'd agree. Portability, 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, the wing comes off with the rubber bands. You know, you can lay the wing right beside the fuse in the car. It doesn't take up any room at all. So,
yep. And then last is skill level. We have this down as a beginner.
Definitely a beginner. Like we said, it's a perfect. It's what it's built for, and that's what it does.
When people talk about an electric park flyer, this is really what I kind of, you know, if you look at if you had to fill the slot in terms of a definition, this is really an electric park flyer.
It is, and
it's quiet. It's 3 channels, so it's more of a beginner plane. Lands beautifully on grass. Has great slow speed handling characteristics.
And it fills a, you know, it fits that neat category of kind of a throwback to the older days when you had to assemble your own plane. You know, to get your nice little 3-channel beginner plane, and this is it. It's a nice, enjoyable build, not the least bit stressful. Like anything, follow the directions. They walk you right through it. It's
and there's some pride to be had when you build your own plane.
Anytime you build it, even something like this. I mean, you beam like a peacock when you're done. When you get to finish, you know, you got your finish all done,
and then you fly it.
And then you fly it. It's part of the hobby. That's what makes it enjoyable. You know. And with
my,
you know, you can't. This can't be argued with.
The finish is gorgeous. Yeah,
this is a beautiful.
You're a master coverer. You're a master. Heat applied film guy.
There you go. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Well, that wraps up our review of the Lil Pup. You can see the full review at 2bfly.com. If you have any questions, just click on the Ask To icon. It'll send us a message. Give us a couple business days, and we'll try to get back with you with an answer for whatever problem you're encountering or question you may have. I'm Kurt with Two Brothers Hobby.
And I'm Rob. Thanks for watching.